Where's the chaos? What if I told you that by inviting chaos into your life, it would make the difference in achieving your full potential? That this concept of what we call chaos is really just a long-winded way of saying opportunity. Let's take a look at my discovery of chaos and opportunity in my own life. Age 7. Cute kid, I know. I seen a toy at a store. My mom says I can't have it. Because, as a single parent mother, toys aren't always in the budget. At age 7, disappointed that I can't have the toy, I become determined to figure it out on my own. I see a stack of newspapers and begin to sell them to anyone I see. A day later, I buy the toy. Age 10, my mother is on the phone with a family who will come to adopt me. With tears streaming down my face, I beg my mother not to let these strangers take me away from our home. She makes me promise that I'll behave in school and at home in order to stay. At age 10, in the midst of tears and panic, at first I feel like I've narrowly escaped death itself. But then I realize that if I can be given up for adoption, then no one and nothing is permanent in life. From this moment forward, I begin to take steps to ensure that if I'm ever given up for adoption, I will survive on my own. Age 14. The teachers in school make me feel like I'll never achieve much. It's like they undervalue me. They don't even acknowledge that I'm an honor roll student. At home, it's yet another Christmas with no presents under the tree. But my mom works ridiculously hard to make sure that I have a roof over my head and clothes on my back. I can tell she's stressed out making it all work and come together. Everything seems to point towards a dim future. A hopelessness begins to grow inside of me. At age 14, I earned my hunger. For too many years to count, before and after this age, I questioned where my father is and why this guy isn't here to help us. I hate to see my mother stressed. I know it would be a lot easier for her if she didn't have to provide for two. Outraged by all the barriers and limits forced upon me, I make a promise to myself to become successful anyways and assist those in my same position to become successful as well. Age 18, I arrive on the Babson College campus. My slang such as, haven't seen you in a minute, is met with, really? It's been more than a minute, Daquan. At any social event, I'm expected to teach others how to Dougie and other all sorts of dances. And when I list Diddy as one of my favorite entrepreneurs, I'm met with smirks and laughter. I can't shake the feeling of inferiority at this school. I call my mother in the middle of orientation weekend, telling her, you have to help me transfer out. I'm not going to make it here. The first day of introductions, in class, I choke and almost cry because of how uncomfortable I feel just being myself in this environment. At age 18, I decided not to transfer out from Babson, partly because of the newfound support system that I found. I accept that staying can help me be the great entrepreneur I want to be. In a meeting that year with the president of Babson, I tell him I will be one of the greatest entrepreneurs on this campus by the time that I graduate. 3 years later, I'm chosen as one of 2 student entrepreneurs to speak on behalf of Babson at our presidential inauguration. Age 20. End of sophomore year, Black Student Union meeting. I'm given the most likely to be on World Star Award, which is code for most ghetto of the group and most likely to have a dim and unrespectable future award. At age 20, outraged, I went to one of my best friends that night with a promise that in a year, nothing will be the same. Understanding my rawness was one of my greatest assets. I fought every step of the way to retain that part of my identity while still earning respect. A year later in that same meeting, I'm given the most likely to be a billionaire award. These illustrated reactions to disruption and discomfort that begin at age 7 continued this way until one day I consciously identified it. Once I fully understood the role chaos played in my own personal growth, I realized I could accelerate my growth instead of waiting for it. Now, I've designed chaos into my life, disruption by design, which over time has become a system that I've come to term as the discomfort value chain. The discomfort value chain is a system of achieving your full potential through inviting chaos to create necessary growth. That growth might be increasing your own consciousness or self-awareness, becoming a better friend or a leader, or more healthy and productive. One of my favorites from this year's discomfort value chain was a 7-day vow of silence, where, among other things, it increased my consciousness, helped train my positive thinking, because try complaining while silent. Think about it. And helped me to be more thoughtful. By defining the desired growth of the chaos I seek, I generate it into my life. This is purposeful. I'm not advocating that we take the chaos we encounter more seriously. I'm advocating that we invite the chaos we need into our lives. What? Chaos. Life is already difficult. Why is it necessary to choose a path of chaos? Johann Galtung, who first introduced structural violence, points out that a very long time ago, society was structured to limit and create the 99%. Now, no way can I provide enough justice to structural violence in this talk, but its relevance here today is to reveal a system that not only created 99% a long time ago by design, but also limited every woman, every minority, every young person, every non-straight, and every person of low income from achieving their full potential. And this is why inviting and manipulating chaos became necessary. To win a game, we're designed to lose. Sad thing is, this is a general known and accepted thing, yet most still choose to play the game. They're hoping to be that 0.001% to be the person to escape the 99%. But they don't. Enticing, yes, seeing others play and lose, and we know that there are some that do win. You think you could be that person to win too. But beware the hidden unknown chains. For example, at middle school, I began receiving opportunities for high-performing children. Excited at first that I was going to be given the chance to get even further ahead, I soon realized that as most low-income households, we couldn't afford their expensive fees. And so, over the years, I began to lose all hope of going, believing that just wasn't a possibility for me. See, those chains are meant to be subtle, to ensure that you can't resist. Going back to age 10, it wasn't until 6 years later that I realized and overheard my mom saying that she staged the adoption to get me to behave better. And it wasn't until many years later than that I realized, as a single-parent mother, she was just doing the best she could with the little support and guidance she had under her own chains. Fortunately for me, which ended up to be better than most. But those chains are so violent that it forced a 14-year-old to make a promise to himself to become successful anyways and help those in his same position become successful as well. My story is one of many. Those overlooked individuals are not here standing before you today, nor do they possess a similar platform. They should be. They deserve a fair opportunity to be. The discomfort value chain is how we get them here. And it's greater than self-development. It's the evolution of society. For everyone here today, chaos is different. For some, it might be 90 days of cold showers or 2 days with no phone. Maybe for you, it's 3 days straight of talking to strangers or one designated day a week of kindness. Chaos will be like flexing a muscle. Your ability to grow from it, getting stronger each time with practice. And so, looking at your own goals, assess what growth do you need to reach point B? What discomfort would earn you that growth? How can you implement even a little bit of that discomfort into your life today? And once you've done that, ask yourself, how can we do the same for society? Thank you.